The president's Build Back Better plan definitely won't be the signed, sealed Christmas present he'd hoped. A lot of attention has been paid to last weekend's political wrangling that had the White House and Senator Manchin pointing fingers as the bill's chances crumbled. But what about the families the social spending plan was supposed to help? Founder and executive director of Moms in Office, Simona Grace, joins me now live to talk about those families. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Given all of the issues you work on that focus on support for families, which often comes down to supporting women so they can have an impact outside of the home and society, listening to the weekend breakdown and negotiations over Build Back Better must have been pretty heartbreaking.
This was such an unexpected roadblock. I was very hopeful that we can get this bill done, if not by the December 28th deadline that the IRS set out for Senate Democrats to get the vote in order for child tax credit payments to continue in January. Even if we missed that deadline, I knew that negotiations were going well and that I was hoping that possibly the beginning of January we can pass that vote. So now we know for sure that the vote is not happening before the end of the year. This will have an immediate impact on the lives of families, an immediate impact that they're going to feel as soon as 2 weeks into the new year when they will not receive their next child tax credit payment.
I used to report in West Virginia, so I know the economic struggles of that state very well. And yet the linchpin in all of this, Senator Manchin, apparently had a huge problem with the part of Build Back Better that would have extended what you've been talking about, the child tax credit, reportedly telling colleagues in the last few months that he was afraid that extra money would be used by parents to buy drugs. The National Diaper Bank reports that 1 in 3 families struggles to pay for diapers. 1 in 3 U.S. families lack enough diapers to keep a baby dry, clean, and healthy. There are real needs out there. What goes through your mind when you hear a comment like that from Senator Manchin?
You're absolutely right. The child tax credit payments have been used by families to cover these basic necessities such as diaper, food, to keep a roof over families' heads. So to hear this from Senator Manchin, who's a multimillionaire, it just reconfirms this notion that he's completely out of touch with what families face each day when it comes to covering costs and expenses. He continues to cite his suspicions such as families using these funds on drugs, and he disregards the data. The data does exist. The data shows us exactly what families have been spending these monthly payments on, but he continues to disregard that. He continues to cite issues with costs, even though he just voted for the annual defense bill at a price tag of $768 billion per year. He had no issues with that.
Funded childcare was a target early on as the social spending plan took shape. Many seem to speak of it as it might be an amenity, but you and others really believe it's a necessity to galvanize half of the population, right?
Childcare is a necessity in this country. It's especially a necessity for women to get back to work. What we have just experienced these past 18 months is millions of women being forced out of the workforce. And as we have seen these numbers, the drop in employment numbers when it comes to women, especially around the time of the beginning of the school year. So this confirms to us that women cannot afford to go back to work because childcare costs have gone up so much these past 18 months. It just does not make sense for women to go back to work. So absolutely, we need to pass the bill to make sure that families are not spending more than 7% of their monthly income on childcare costs.
We're hearing from Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader Schumer that Build Back Better isn't dead. They'll just have to go after the same goals in different ways after the new year. Do you feel like that's really even possible, or do you feel like the last best chance for these things is sort of slipping away because the party, the president that pushed these ideas in the first place, may lose a significant amount of power in the 2022 midterms?
I absolutely will remain optimistic. We have to remember that we are facing an issue passing these policies because these policies are extremely hard to pass. We have to remember what this bill is about. This bill is about helping American families, making sure that we reduce costs. So I absolutely will remain hopeful because we have come a long way. We have a bill on the table. We have not seen a sitting president of the United States with a paid leave plan on the table. We need to continue to remain hopeful, and President Biden may need to take some immediate executive actions beginning of January to reduce costs for families. If the child tax credit payments indeed will not go out in January, President Biden needs to make sure that the freeze on student loan payments stays in place so we can reduce costs for families in other ways.
All righty, Simona Grace, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Of course, this is an issue that we will keep talking about, so we will most likely have you back as negotiations continue. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.